The beginning of a new year often has us thinking about our taxes, but there are a few things we might want to consider before year's end, and here to tell us what those are is Erwin Matthews from Jackson Hewitt. So welcome, Erwin. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit of some of the common year-end tax tips taxpayers should be aware of before we roll into 2021.
Well, normally this is kind of a standard response, but with all that's happened for 2020, there's some unique items I would certainly consider discussing with taxpayers. And so one of the things is this year with the COVID situation, we've had a number of people receiving unemployment benefits that ordinarily don't receive them. So one of the things we're asking people to do before the end of the year is to make sure you evaluate your withholdings to make sure you withheld enough, because often the unemployment only allows you to withhold up to 10%. So one of the tax tips we're asking individuals to do before the end of the year is to double check, do a pre-refund check to make sure you withheld enough of your withholdings for the year.
Okay. And is there any taxable deductions for unemployment benefits?
So the other things we consider before the end of the year is you still have a chance to contribute to your retirement accounts. You can contribute to a 401k or your IRA, and that'll still allow you to have a reduction in your taxes. And also, there's a new deduction this year for those who don't itemize. You can deduct up to $300 of a charitable contribution. It has to be cash. So individuals are allowed to do that, but that's an opportunity for you to do that before the end of the year as well.
Okay. And so are there any other tax changes we should know about this year?
So one of the other changes I would strongly consider is, again, back to the COVID situation. A lot of people were working at home, telework, but if you are considered self-employed, this is an opportunity you may be able to benefit from the home office deduction. So I would ask that you take a moment, make sure you tally up your expenses for things that you use to operate your business inside your home and make sure you capture those before the end of the year.
Yeah, very important. And so the holidays are a really happy time, but it also tends to bring out some scammers here and there. So we want to be looking out for those. Is there anything in particular taxpayers should be aware of specifically related to scammers when it comes to the IRS?
Yes, that's a very hot topic. So one of the things we remind taxpayers is that remember that the IRS does not call or they don't send emails. They will often communicate via mail. So if you get a call expressing some type of concern about your IRS payments or asking you to call back or sharing personal information, do not respond. Just wait for the IRS correspondence through the mail, and that's how you know it's authenticated.
Okay. Yeah, don't ever get any of that information over the phone. And so I know you already talked about some deductions. Are there any that are commonly overlooked that we should make sure we're really paying attention to this year?
I just think for those who itemize, it's always an opportunity to take one final look if you're going to make additional charitable contributions. Some will often prepay state taxes, or sometimes they'll pay an extra mortgage payment to get that interest payment included in the itemized deduction. Those are things that people often overlook, and it's after, you don't want to wait until after January to realize you forgot about it.
Absolutely true. So thank you so much, Erwin, for being with us. It is that time of year, so it was great tips. We appreciate the information.
My pleasure.